Before to start, I want to ask you something. Do you have pets? Do you love animals? If the answer is no, I would recommend you to turn off your computer. Oh no, 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 no. I'm gonna do it for you. It was a joke. Well, if the answer is yes, keep watching this video. You must know what is happening nowadays. Warning, this video contains shocking images that may upset you. Thousands and even millions of animals have been mistreated around the world, and even though many animalist campaigns have fought against this to happen, it continues that way. Well, one of those fights is against animal experimentation. Today, I'm going to talk about it, but in another context, which means at educational establishments. Okay, but first, a bit of context and background is necessary for you, the audience, to know. Animal experimentation, also known as animal testing, means the experimentation carried out on animals. It can take place in different academic or scientific contexts, such as at school, university, medical school, or pharmaceutical biotechnology. But why are they doing it? Well, the motive of using animals with investigational purposes is to test the effects of certain drugs that haven't been tested in humans, to know more about the animal's anatomy, or just to watch animals' anatomy to be contrasted with the human one, having in mind that the reactions or the effect obtained are not always the same in the human body. On the other hand, there's another way of experiment with animals, and that is dissection. And guess what? It takes place at school and different educational institutions. Unfortunately, dissection is one of the most common ways of animal testing around the world, and which is even worse is that it's not seen as a cruel practice, but as a regular one. How does it work? Well, in America, students are given an animal to dissect, or they can be asked to bring one also. Consecutively, they are taught how to cut the animal, which was previously anesthetized or killed. And then, students are asked to observe the animal's organs just for the purpose of learning physiology or anatomy or any other scientific subject. Apart from dissection, every year millions of live mice, rats, turtles, among other animals, are tormented in classroom experiments, such as the one in which the rats, without being fed, are put into a maze for them to get to the final stage in which there is some food, or the other one in which turtles are smashed on the head with hammers and have holes drilled into their shields so that students can see and manipulate the turtle's heart. Moreover, frogs' brains are destroyed when pins are stuck through their skulls just for the students to cut them and stimulate their muscles. That's cruel, isn't it? But why is animal testing in any of its ways part of a subject? What about the visual violence the students must experience because of it? In case you are parents, would you like your children to practice it? Okay, let's see the scientific view of it. From the scientific point of view, animal experimentation has contributed to many life cures and human treatments. Throughout the time, animal experimentation has helped scientists to discover unknown problems such as insulin, brain injuries, malaria, tuberculosis, and many others. Some scientists believe that there's no other living system like human beings but the animal one. As animals have complex systems, as the one humans have, they think it is necessary for them to experiment new treatments with animals. Is that fair? Well, they believe so. Scientists also say that animal research is highly regulated, with laws for the animals not to be mistreated. Well, let me say that regulations are not always respected, and that a regulation does not diminish the pain that an animal suffers. Does it? Finally, They state the animals are treated humanly to ensure reliable test results. They think that by enriching a good environment, they are diminishing the pain of the animal. It has, for example, to carry an ear at its back, or that has to suffer a drug effect. Ha! What a humanly process they are doing with the animals. Let me show you why. I and many of the animalists organizations, such as PETA, are against animal testing. First of all, I want to clarify that there are many organizations fighting against animal testing, not only PETA. Just for naming some, we can find the European Coalition to End Animal Experiments, ECEAE, the Coalition for Consumers Information, CCIZ, Physicians Committee for Responsibility, PZRM, and Center for Alternatives to Animal Testing, CAAT. Did you know that the companies that sell animals to be dissected makes them live in poor living conditions, which increases the suffering of the animals because they have to live a horrible short life just to be killed? You surprised? Well, unfortunately, there is more. Animal testing should be forbidden at schools because the amount of violence that dissection means is huge. Indeed, in Miami, a student was accused of torturing 19 cats. And guess what? The student learned that at school. Animals are considered as tools, but they are not. There are many other better ways to learn physiology, biology, anatomy, or any other scientific subject. In fact, technologies have developed in such a way that nowadays there are many computer software that contain dynamic and less violent content for a student to learn biological processes without killing an animal or without getting their hands dirty. Finally, and because we are into a neoliberal society, I must say that using computer software to teach students anatomy can save schools a lot of money because every single year schools have to spend time and money buying animals to dissect. But if they buy a software license, they only would have to do it once. So the money would be spent one time and not every single year. Easy math, right? Personally speaking, I do not like the idea of killing an animal just because. Do you? Well, I hope not. What happens in Chile about it? Fortunately, there is no section at school, or at least it's not a compulsory part of the curriculum. But there are some schools that ask students to create labyrinths for rats to see their behavior. Other schools ask students to bring an eye of an animal to see its internal structures. I know it can still be a bit violent, but at least we, Chileans, are not encouraging our kids to kill animals. And which is even better, parents are teaching them to take care of animals. That is, at least at school. Unfortunately, in Chile, there are experimentations at university where students are asked to dissect animals for them to learn certain content related to the programs. If were possible that it wouldn't happen, it would be magnifique, don't you think? To wrap up, I would like to say that animals are surprisingly amazing and you should love them. They only live their lives instinctively without having any dark intention behind, as some humans have. So please take care of them. If you are asked to dissect an animal, or if your children are asked to do it, say no. They cannot oblige you to do it. You have the right and the possibility to say no. So do so. Be nice with our little siblings of the nature. If you have a pet and then for any reason you cannot have it anymore, look for a place to it. Do not leave it alone or in the street. Be a responsible pet owner. Be human.